Paleosciences is incredibly important, not only to South Africa and Africa, but to the world.
South Africa is one of the 4 countries in Africa that create together this amazingly rich storehouse of fossil and archaeological evidence for our ancient origins.
Paleontology has proven to be a rich source of knowledge that our scientists can use to communicate with the world.
And paleontology explains this to us. It tells the story of humanity.
PAST is a really difficult name to say. It's the Paleontological Scientific Trust.
PAST was formed originally to help support the research at Sterkfontein, which is the single richest fossil hominid site in the world. And yet in 1994, when PAST was created, funding for the continuation of research at Sterkfontein was threatened.
It really was a bringing together of business people at the time, government leaders, and paleontologists.
So PAST is an organization that supports education, research, and public understanding of the sciences related to our origins.
And it's our opinion that you have to integrate those 3 areas to make scientific development sustainable.
PAST has an absolutely marvelous schools-level education program called the Walking Tall Educational Theater Project.
Africa, the original skin color. Psh, the hot sun. Psh, bing, bing.
Walking Tall can perform in the theatre, an auditorium, under an acacia tree, on a piece of sand. We have no props. The cast members use their bodies as props. To date, over 1.2 million learners and educators have seen Walking Tall.
It also, I think, creates the ability for young people to question what is being presented to them and to then have a discussion.
The core mission of PAST is to promote and grow African leadership in the field. And our mission is to make sure that we grow the scientists locally who can take the science and grow it for generations to come.
PAST understands that there are all these new and upcoming researchers, and PAST came in and started providing funds to at least uplift those upcoming researchers, and some of us got funding from PAST. So PAST is really growing an African base.
They've been to different countries here in Africa, Kenya, Uganda, to mention just a few. So PAST is really doing a great deal of a job in terms of helping us with our studies, helping us disseminate this information to the public.
PAST has given me the opportunity to do a postgraduate degree, and it's opened so many more opportunities. I've met more researchers, I've been exposed to more fields, and it's just something that will really contribute to my future research and just my knowledge in general.
PAST for me is unusual in that it has taken a very old science, as it were, and an old set of fossils, and is trying to modernize them through public engagement.
The All From One campaign is going to be an incredible boost to our public understanding efforts in terms of informing not only the South African public, but the public across Africa and eventually around the world about the importance of our African origins.
We use that information of our common origins in Africa to provide people a basis upon which they can build tolerance, unity, collaboration, and conservation.
I mean, we began through President Nelson Mandela to focus on the notion of reconciliation, that coming out of very difficult times it is possible for human beings to work closely together with one set of ideals that they wish to pursue. The world is desperately in need of an appreciation of diversity, of the fact that being different doesn't mean we have to be at loggerheads with each other. And I think this campaign echoes that message.
I think the campaign, "We are all from one," comes back to the root of our shared humanity. Who are we?
I think in many ways, we want people to begin to think of themselves as citizens of the world and not as people who are defined by national boundaries.
So if we come back to the roots and we understand the value system that constitutes that shared humanity, we begin to understand why seeing a strength in our diversity is so important for constructing the new world we want.
It's about explaining who we are, where we come from, explaining the present, the past, and the future. And once we create that better understanding, I think that corporates themselves will have a better environment within which to do their business. And we'll grow the future together.
And I'm thrilled at some of the companies that I see now associated with PAST, because I think the new forms of partnership are going to give us an even richer resource of knowledge about paleontology.
Humanity is driven by curiosity, and curiosity will take us places.
I really believe that we want to accomplish a contribution from a scientific perspective to human beings all over the world, realizing that we're all 99.9% alike, we're all much more similar than we are different, and the science tells us so. We all began in Africa, and therefore we should join hands and work together.
If we can get the important messages of the origin sciences out to everybody in Africa, but especially the children, I think PAST will be successful.